Okay, so if we look here at the two setups, okay, the left-hand one was your before, okay? You can see now, as we discussed, obviously, shoulders quite level, your hands are nearer kind of your right thigh there, okay? So a bit behind the ball, and what that will cause now in terms of your grip, you can see your left hand now is off to the side. If we sort of draw a line up the club shaft here now, okay, that's up the club there, you can see your left hand's off that red line, okay? If we look in here, look at the difference in your left hand position there now. Okay, so your thumb's now off to the side, that little crease you've got there now is on top of the grip. And both hands look fairly similar in terms of their kind of position, yeah? So that's the start position there with the club on the ground. Obviously you can see the club now leaning forwards, okay, and nearer towards your left thigh. Then you put your right hand on the golf club now. This took a little bit of getting used to, if you obviously see yourself sort of fidgeting around there a little bit there.
No, I love this stuff.
Trying to readjust it, okay? So now you're in a position there now. We can see, once you get yourself set up, the shoulders now a little bit of a tilt, and the club now is a bit more kind of vertical there. It could go a little bit further forward, but at the moment we're far enough away from where you were to be good, but close enough to still feel comfortable. If you make the adjustment and you go too far this way, it'll feel so strange, you'll be like, I can't stand that way. So it's always best to go from where you were to there and just gradually come over. Eventually you want to get towards kind of your left shoulder, left line there. Okay, but overall, very, very good. And then in terms of the swing, because you've got a better wrist hinge or better grip, you look at your left wrist on this one here now, how your wrist looks quite awkward there compared to this one when you go back. The thought now is just hinging the wrist as the club goes up.
Amazing.
Look at your thumbs there, so you can get your left wrist looks a lot flatter, it's not kind of bowed in this position. Good position. Now, we'll probably look at a little bit more, maybe more detail. This is good, okay, you keep your feet on the ground there as you come back to golf ball. Good strike of the ball as we can see. Right the way through into a good balance follow through up on that left side. So a very good kind of the lower half supporting that swing nicely, okay? You're able to hinge the wrist because of that better grip, and because of the better setup you're able to get more consistent, better shots. Whereas this one here on the left hand side, because of this now, your left wrist, you can see more of a lifting with the arms and the left wrist collapsing. Now you've got to try and almost see how you're dropping down to try to get the golf ball coming down quite kind of steep on, and you hit this golf ball here. Now the ball, you can see the white lines dribbling forward and then kind of pops up in the air afterwards and then through. Now the follow through is fairly similar there, but that was a shot that sort of scuttled off the side there, so it wasn't as good. So just to run through that quickly again as a rehearsal there. So set up, always start like so, both hands to the side, club in your left hand by your left thigh, right hand comes on, putting your right shoulder now slightly underneath, creating a little bit of a tilt there in your shoulders, and then from there setting up, your only swing thought now is going to be the hinge in the wrist on the way back, creating that L position, which you can see if we get to about there, on that frame, there, you've got perfectly, okay? Club goes up, the club can go up, it can come down, good strike, good to follow through, okay? So that's going to be the thought process right now, okay? Go through that setup, practice that till it just becomes something you do. I'm sure you will, yeah. It just becomes something you do. I mean, at the moment now when you first start, if we sort of click record there at the start there, but just after 1 second, and you got yourself set up to hit the golf ball and you made the swing at about 13, 14, so it took you like 14, 15 seconds. In time that'll be down to like 10 seconds and then 7 or 8 and so on and so forth.
Right.
Okay. Just as you get more accustomed. And when you start doing that, there's no thinking of that. There's some
a lot of movement in Taekwondo feel first very unnatural.
Yeah, of course.
And meanwhile they are just...
Exactly. And again, what you'll see is doing things bit by bit. We're not going to go into low. There are other things to obviously work on down the line. But if we do it all in one go, your brain will be just like, what? It's too much. The setup's key to start with. Get yourself in a good start position. Think about that wrist hinge. And in terms of practice, if you find yourself, if you get on the driving range, or you go somewhere to practice, and you can't hit the ground, just make some swings. Only go to about this far, and just come down to the ground like this, up and down there, like that. Just swing back and forth. Just keep hitting the ground with small little movements at a speed and a pace that you can comfortably do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Make sense?
Yeah.
Excellent. Good.